Inravio.com.
And welcome to the weekly show.
Hello.
I am Chuck.
And Bonnie.
And we have a great show lined up today, don't we?
I know. I'm excited. I am really excited because we have an author on today.
That's correct.
And
A famous author besides.
That's right, a famous author. And I have read 2 of her 3 books. And so far, I'm in love. I have to get the middle one now. I did the wrong ends of the spectrum. I did first and third, and I skipped over 2. But now I have to go get 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what else do we have on the show today?
We have a video from Gold Coast, but I'm not going to tell you who it is.
It's a surprise.
That's right.
It's a secret?
We have an interview from Gold Coast Film Festival I'm going to show off too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to do that one first?
If you want to, sure. So you want to do Gold Coast right now?
Sure, why not?
All right. So we're going to do a Gold Coast video. We're going to show you an interview that we did there, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with our guest, Andrea Thalasinos. We'll be right back.
All right, sure. I'm Charles Berman. I'm the receiver of taxes for the town of North Hempstead. Very excited to be here at the 5th annual Gold Coating, our business and tourism industry. North Hempstead is a wonderful place. Famous movies made about the coast and about Long Island. A lot of famous movie stars through the years have lived on Long Island on the Gold Coast, and it really is a natural place to have a film festival. It's very exciting, but we support the arts, we promote the arts in our town, and we also want people to come into North Hempstead and experience our wonderful restaurants and the businesses that we have here, and share in our wonderful life that we have here. North Hempstead has been acknowledged as one of the 100 greatest places to live in the United States, and this is just adding to some of the wonderful things that we have to offer.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was fine for life. Thank you so much. You nailed it. Thank you.
Inravio.com.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
And welcome back to the weekly show.
Welcome back. I want to get right into it. We have with us via Skype, I would love to have her here, but she lives too far away. Via Skype, we have a professor of sociology at Madison College, which she's super, super smart, which scares me. But anyway, Andrea Thalasinos, who's author of these two books here, An Echo Through the Snow, which was the very first one, and then there's another one which I'll have to ask her the title of because I've already forgotten, and then Fly By Night, which I just finished reading, and I love them all. So, welcome to the show, Andrea.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. So, tell us a little bit about how you got into writing.
I've always written stuff from the time I was like a teenager and used to write songs and poems that I'd put to music. And it wasn't until I was in my late 20s that I started to write novels. I was finishing graduate school, and I would just get an idea for a story and just want to start writing. So I took a couple of classes and, wrote a couple of novels that are no longer in existence. They were just experimental. And then I sort of like fell in love with dogs and animals and started to write stories that had those animals, the intersection of humans and animals and the relationship between those, and all sorts of struggles and personal struggles in people's lives, and how animals oftentimes have the ability to help us through things and form relationships with us in some cases that people can't. So that's kind of like how I sort of got into it. I just started writing because I love to write, and then this whole idea for writing the first one, Echo Through the Snow, which I see you have up there, came about when I got a bunch of sled dogs, huskies, and I started to dog sled with my kids, and really learned about this whole sort of subculture and world, and sort of got into researching the peoples of the Arctic and how they use these dogs, and it was fascinating to me. I learned so much, and it was amazing. So what a great experience.
Oh, that book was amazing to me. I learned so much about the history of them and where they came from, and
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it's true. I'm assuming that you researched it all and it's all facts, but it's gospel
yeah.
to me. That's that is the
Yeah.
gospel of dogs. It's just beautiful.
Yes.
So you said you've been writing all this time. You come up with these ideas for stories. Do you come up with the idea and build it as it goes along, or do you like come up with the end and make a story that comes along, or how do you do it? What is your process?
Well, I always come up with an idea. Sometimes it's an impression, it's a feeling, it's a character, it's a situation, and I build the entire story around that individual or a situation that somehow really grabs me, and I want to learn more about it, and suddenly, all of these characters show up as I'm writing. It's really kind of an interesting process, and I usually don't know how it's going to end, and I just kind of write intuitively, wherever the story sort of leads me, and that was the case with Fly By Night. I started to write that about this marine biologist, and then in Wisconsin they reinstituted a wolf hunt, and I had to learn more about that and find out about what that was, and the more I found out about it, the more angry I was, because it was sort of like nullifying the whole Endangered Species Act, in the United States, which is, it's kind of our wilderness. It's all of, the stuff that makes America beautiful and wild. And, here is this consistent effort on the part of state legislators to just, go after wolves and bears and all of these protected species, eagles. I mean, and just basically have open season literally on these animals. And so I read a lot about that. I did a lot of research in Wisconsin about that, and a lot of the book sort of like, centers on a couple of things, as well as family relationships. So, yeah. So.
Well, I noticed that the Amelia's parents both are Greek, and I know from your last name, obviously, you're Greek. Did you make her family
Yes.
Greek because of that? I mean, because you could have been anything.
Did I what? Sorry, I didn't hear you. The
Did you
question.
make her
Did
family Greek because you're Greek, or did it
Oh,
come?
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, okay. And
No, it was definitely the Greek thing. And the second book, Traveling Light, which is my second book, really goes into the whole Greek American experience. And again, there's animals, there's dogs and wolf dogs and eagles, and also the relationship between a Greek woman and her mother,
Wow.
her aging mother, and this sense of being the other. You're an American, but you have this whole other culture, that you have struggled with. What are you? And so it was really very much about identity, and many things themes went through that book. And when I was writing the third one, I just thought, she's going to be Greek. What the hell? What else could she be? So, what can you do? It's the default,
I've noticed, now, again, I didn't read the second one, but I noticed a change in your writing style from the first to the third.
Oh.
There's a lot more, I'm going to call it symbolism. I don't know if that's really what it is, but I noticed little phrases that you put in that were like, there was, when Amelia was going to the interview at the mall, you put in groups of
Right.
teenagers sped past like schools of blue jackfish syncopated with knife-like precision.
Right.
I was like, wow, that is cool. I saw it. I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yep.
That was very cool. And I don't remember you doing that in the first book. Did you take more classes, or how did you come up with these visual things?
These images. I don't know. I'd like to think I'm just you do it enough and you get better.
Okay.
It's just the practice effect. And the first, when I wrote Echo Through the Snow, it was sort of like, every day you write, you're outside of your comfort zone, and it can be quite terrifying to, try and, what's inside of you and how you see it and how you think about it to actually get it on paper. And I think with each successive try, I hope it sounds like maybe, it's, I'm just becoming a better writer, and I'm able to think more clearly and then also put it on paper, so that's good to know. You liked it. Yay.
Oh, absolutely. No, I could see in the beginning of this one, you wrote Amelia as not an unlikable person, but she was a little bit standoffish and kind of on the cold side. But then as the story progressed, I began to like her, and she was a totally different person, and I could see you doing it. It was so cool to see that development, and it's something I would love to be able to do, but I can't. But I loved it.
Right. Well, I'm glad you got that, because that was something that I wanted to happen with her. Like, I wanted her to come from this very guarded place. She's a research scientist. She's run this lab, this facility. Her and Jen and Bryce, and she's published and widely known. And this has been like her whole world. And then her whole world sort of falls apart, and she falls apart a bit, and just leaves, Rhode Island in her lab and moves to Minneapolis to work in a shopping mall, and which I did actually go there and go to see life. It's a wonderful place, but just to kind of see her get rattled and then grow as a person and open up to some of the people and experiences. So I'm glad that came across.
Oh,
'cause
definitely.
I really wanted that for her, and I'm glad that it came off that way. You never know, I'm glad you got that from it. So
Oh, you know, I definitely saw it, and I really, really like the characters of Gloria and White Deer. I would love to see another book about them and their life, and
About who? About
Gloria and White
oh,
Deer.
Gloria.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah.
you know, that
Well, because several
unrequited
people have
love.
asked me that, and I think, yeah, I think that may happen. So,
Excellent. I definitely finished that story going, but what happened? I want to know about Gloria. So that's cool.
oh, cool. That's good to know. Several people have said that to me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Now, stepping back a little bit, what got you to start to want to write? What was the inspiration? It was like, you know what, I got to write a book.
You know, I just started doing it. I guess I've always read a lot, and have always been inspired. I mean, I took a creative writing class in high school, and it was something that I absolutely loved, and I seemed to be able to do it. And a lot of things I couldn't do, but that's one thing that I could do. And then I kind of got, you know, was a young mother and raising kids, and you know, didn't have time to do anything at that point. And as my kids kind of got older, I had more free time, and that's when I really just, you know, that feeling you have to write, you have to put something on paper, you know, and it got really strong. And then just finally, you know, like I said, I made several attempts and was struggling, and I don't have a formal, you know, creative writing degree. I don't have an MFA. You know, I'm a sociologist by training. You know, I'm a social scientist,
Right.
And I think maybe I bring that to the table. And the stories that I do write, I bring a lot of sociology and understanding of people in society and the relationships between them and the social changes that they go through. So I probably bring that more to the table than technique. And technique is something that, you know, as the more that I write, and maybe this third book, you know, sort of like evolving as a writer, you know, hopefully that I'm developing in that way. But yeah, it's like I write just about every day. And I just started a new novel this past summer, and that's why I'm in Nova Scotia. You know, for the summer, I'm doing research and I'm writing here, and so it's like a whole new thing, and which is
Yeah.
really exciting. So it's kind of something that just like makes you have to do it. There's that creative force, so it's a drive. Yeah.
It's a passion. That's good.
Oh, it's really cool.
Oh.
I assume there's going to be wolves in this next one, somewhere along the line, just because you...
Totally.
Okay, okay. Now, I didn't
Yeah.
expect the
Oh, yeah.
seahorses in this one, so are we going to get a different animal to go along with the wolves, or do we have to wait and see?
Well, they're going to be horses. So
Cool.
not seahorses, but real horses. And I've been doing some research about, I don't know if you ever heard of like equine assisted therapy. So it's with people and for children who've been through trauma and also returning veterans. And so one of the characters will be doing this type of work with young kids and also with returning vets with post-traumatic stress syndrome. And so I've been learning a lot about horse behavior and horses and the interaction of horses and people and how horses can read people and why they end up being such incredible therapy animals. I mean, they've been used for quite a long time, you know, with people who have physical disabilities, but it hasn't been that long that they've been, you know, used with people who have undergone some type of psychological trauma. And it's amazing work that I've seen done. And so, you know, one of my characters now is going to be doing this type of work. So there'll be horses, there'll be wolves, there'll be dogs, you know, and of course a lot of people and complex relationships. So yeah, so that's kind of like, and who knows what else will show up. You never know.
Well, it sounds great. I'm already psyched to read it. Very cool.
Cool.
So
Good.
if you were going to interview you, I know that you get interviewed by people and you get asked the same questions over and over again, but if you were going to interview you, what would be the question you'd ask?
Oh, wow. Huh. I don't know. I guess I might ask myself the question that you asked. You know, wanting to know more about Gloria and some of the other characters. People have wanted me to write a sequel for Echo Through the Snow, and they've been really curious about like what happens to Rosalie, what happens to, you know, all these people. Mm-hmm. And And actually, I have thought of doing that. And, if I wasn't sort of starting, this book, it's called Horseplay at this point, I would be, maybe thinking about revisiting some of these other stories. And so I think that might be something that I might do. So, yeah. So other than that, boy, I don't know what question I would ask myself.
Well, sometimes you come out of interviews and stuff, you're like, boy, I wish they would have asked me this, or I would have loved to have talked about that, or something. That's why I asked, if there was something that you usually come out wondering, why didn't they ask me about something?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything offhand.
Okay. So you've got
Yeah.
some new book signings coming up and travel and stuff, right?
Yes, I have several things in Canada this summer that are lined up, and then in the fall I'll be back in Wisconsin to teach, and I have something in Minnesota, a couple of things in Wisconsin. We're showing a documentary called The Medicine of the Wolf in Madison as a fundraiser, and we're going to be having Julia Huffman, Jim Brandenburg, photographer, Julia Huffman, director, to show up in Madison, and I'll be co-hosting, that showing in October, which is going to be sort of endangered species. It's actually Wolf Awareness Week in Wisconsin, the Timberwolf Alliance. So I'll be involved in that, plus some activities up in northern Wisconsin about wolf awareness and, just trying to get the public to understand that, wolves are not going to bite them. They're not going to kill their children. They're not, they're just, they're afraid of us, and they live in the woods and, that sort of thing. So I'll be quite involved in that this fall. So, and, so got a lot coming up.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Sounds like you're going to be busy.
Yes.
That is great.
Yes. So, yeah.
So the only other thing I really have to say, I could talk about this book for hours, but the only other thing is I really liked how in our current social climate, the way things are, people are always, bashing other people, or somebody's trying to kill somebody all the time. In your book, there were actually people who had different beliefs and spiritual and religious and that kind of thing, and yet they respected each other. They were able to talk about it, say, no, I don't really agree with that, but I respect what you do. And I thought that was really cool that you did that, and it was very obvious. It came out. I saw it, So I like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I work towards that, and, being a teacher who teaches sociology, I have people in my classes that have many different beliefs, and there's oftentimes this tendency, if I'm right, then you're totally wrong, and not only are you wrong, you're an idiot, and that's something that in my classes I really try. If they learn nothing else, they learn that honorable people can disagree, and just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that they're wrong. Everybody comes to the table with different life experience, with different things have happened to you. And just because what you've experienced is valid doesn't mean that somebody else, has not experienced something equally as valid, but for themselves. And that's something that I also try to bring through in my work, in my writing. Traveling Light, my second book, I also try and bring that in. It's about a woman who's married to a man who is an extreme hoarder. And, and so that brings sort of raises the issue of mental illness in perspective, and which I believe also is something, that in our culture we need to kind of look at. And also in that novel, there are eagles, there are wolf dogs, there are wolves, I always write about nature and animals. And it also brings the issue of having differing perspectives. What is normal? What is to live a normal life? Mm-hmm. And so, this is something that I also try and introduce some of these themes, in the books. So, well, I'm glad you got that. So that makes me happy. Yeah.
Yes, I really, really enjoyed it. I am so glad to be able to talk to you about it because, like I said, I really enjoyed your books, and I'm definitely going to be getting the middle one.
Thank you.
So do you have anything else
Yeah.
for her?
Well, I hope you
that's-
like Family Light. Let me know what you think.
I
Drop in
definitely will.
a
Yeah.
Facebook thing and let me know.
Okay, I will.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. We thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on with us today.
And if you're ever in New York, you'll have to come and do an interview right here in the studio.
Absolutely.
I will be in New York, and I possibly will be in New York this fall. So I will
Excellent.
definitely let you guys know, and I would be honored. It would be so fun. Thank you for having me tonight. I so appreciate it. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great night.
You
Take care.
too.
You too. All right, so we've got, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we got another clip, right?
I think so, yes.
All right.
All right, so we'll be back in a moment.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Murphy Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the. But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
And welcome back to the weekly show.
Welcome back. I'm a little depressed now
Why?
because I finished my book. That's what happens. I finish a book and then I get depressed because now I can't follow the characters anymore and know what's going on
All
in
right,
their life.
well, you know, wait until they come out with a new book.
Yes.
That's what happens.
It's kind of a letdown, you know? You walk.
Well, you're engaged, that's all good.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's like withdrawals from the character. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Give it some time. Well, we have another clip.
Yes.
And this is from the Gold Coast Film Festival as well, right?
Yes, it is.
With Regina Gill.
That's right. That's right. So we'll check that out.
Let's go take a look.
I'm Regina Gill. I'm the founder and executive director of the Gold Coast Art Center and the Gold Coast International Film Festival.
This isn't. I'm sorry, one more time. The audience here.
I'm sure, and I don't have the best voice.
Just one more time. Same thing.
I'm Regina Gill. I'm the founder and executive director of the Gold Coast Art Center and the Gold Coast International Film Festival.
This is an absolutely wonderful event. I love the theme you have with all the actors and everything. What's the work that goes into this? How much work goes into this?
Well, let's put it this way. Tomorrow it will be over. We start again on January 2nd.
So it's just back and back with you.
It's got to be, because otherwise too many flaming torches in the air. You might drop one, can't afford it.
Well, it's a great event. You're bringing out some big names, like Lou Diamond Phillips is right to your left. So how many celebrities have been here for these events over the past couple of years?
Last year we had Hugh Grant, and he came with his director Mark Lawrence, who directed him in like 4 of his movies. We've had Paul Sorvino, Kelly O'Hara, Isabella Rossellini, Bruce Dern.
That is a list.
We just have we just had such a tremendous amount of. We're very, you know what happens. People who are in this business remember how hard it was when they started, and people like us are growing the next generation. So they understand what our mission is, and they're helping us by showing up. They understand the level of attention that their presence brings.
On behalf of my generation, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That was absolutely perfect.
Inravio.com.
And that's it for the weekly show today, I think. We
Yes.
pretty much did everything we had to do. And, don't forget, in Inravio TV Network, go to the contest page on the website. Plenty of shows there from the Paramount Theater in Huntington, Long Island, New York. Some awesome shows there. So if you're able to get to New York, sign up to win those tickets.
Got some great shows on there right now.
Yes, awesome
Yes.
shows. Great place, too. Great venue. If you've never been there, or if you have, it's an awesome venue. So it's definitely something you want to check out. And keep an eye out for the Inravio TV Network van. We're going to be all around town. I think we're going to be in July. We're going to be at Warped Tour in Montauk, Long Island, New York. So we'll be giving away some stuff there. And I think we're going to be up in Bethel at the Speedway also in July. 2 dates in July. So keep an eye out on the website, and you can come follow us. Come follow the van around.
We'll play Ice Cream Man music, and they can just run behind us.
Jing, jing, jing.
All right,
the
I think that's
bells
all
on
we
it.
have time for tonight.
That's it, right?
All right. So
Until
we'll
next week.
see you later. Bye.
Take care.